So we continue with the process. We started one day ago in terms of sharing with you some thoughts I am pulling together for a brand new book, Personal Transformation, the Ultimate Quest. What we say, it is never too late to become your greatest self. That whole process of transforming, transformation, and transformation, especially of self, because that is where it all begins. So we continue the process. Now, my name is Leahcim Semaj. I'm a quantum transformation psychologist. And I believe that self is at the beginning of almost everything. Your perception, your belief, ultimately your consciousness. So that's how we get things to start. That's how we get things to move from one level to the other. In the last session, we gave you the preamble in terms of what's the groundwork that we set for creating this transformational path. Today, we look at the prelude to your transformation, but we'll take it much further than that, because it's important that these steps, as we go through the ones from yesterday, we see the pieces fit and we make sense of them, right? So we went through quickly yesterday the pieces that set the agenda. So today we are at the second phase, the path. What is this path that we are proposing? The path that will help you to become your greatest self. Well, we talk about the spirit world and the science of spirituality. It may almost sound like a misnomer, the science of spirituality. But guess what? Spirituality is a kind of psychological tool we use to get ourselves into our natural state. So says Alice Walton. Spirituality is a kind of psychological tool we use to get us back to, I would suggest, our natural state. It takes on many forms. Also, along the way, the work of Niels Bohr becomes very useful. He told us that everything we call real is made of things that cannot be regarded as real. If quantum mechanics hasn't profoundly shocked you, you haven't understood it yet. So the quantum field, the quantum world, sets the agenda for the tour that we will make. What we understand is that our intention creates our reality. We are incredibly powerful beyond all measure. The observer effect in quantum physics states that where you direct your attention is where you place your energy. As a consequence, you affect the material world, which is made of what? Mostly energy. So your perception sets the agenda for your reality. We're encouraged to focus on what we want. Focus on what we want. Worrying has been described as praying for what you don't want. Attention energizes while intention transforms. Remember that whatever you put your attention on grows stronger in your life. Whatever you take your attention away from withers and ultimately disappears. So we have serious work to do. We set the path in terms of getting these things to work. But it goes further. There's overwhelming evidence that says the good thing about science is that it is true whether you believe it or not. It's not a matter of opinion. Whether you believe it or not, the evidence presented by the scientific paradigm is true. You are more than your thoughts, your body, or your feelings. What you are is a swirling vortex of limitless potential who is here to shake things up and create something new that the universe has never seen before. We all have a purpose. We all have a reason to be here. And we have access, Lao Tzu points out, to a mind that is still. The whole universe surrenders. When your mind is still, the universe surrenders and responds to you. Dr. Steve Maraboli puts it very simple. The universe doesn't give you what you ask for with your thoughts. It gives you what you demand with your action. So we're seeing some processes in terms of the path and how we get there. Let's take a little look at the wisdom tradition as identified in the teachings of Jesus. Jesus presented a model which a lot of people have packaged and described as miracles, but I see it otherwise. Jesus was trying to tell us very clearly that if you want things to change, you must do something. First, the paralyzed man. What did he say? Pick up your bed and go home. Take up your bed and walk. Do something. The man with the paralyzed hand, stretch out your hand. Do something. The case of the widow's dead son. Young man, get up. Do something. The man with demons, go back home and tell what God has done for you. Do something. The dead girl, get up, child. Do something. Feeding the 5,000. Make the people sit down in groups of about 50 each. Do something. I continue. The boy with an evil spirit, bring your son here to me. Translation, do something. The crippled woman, he placed his hand on her, and at once she straightened herself up and praised God. She did something. 10 men with a skin disease, go and tell the priest and let him examine you. Do something. My favorite, however, number 10, is the blind man. Now note the psychology of Jesus. Jesus spat on the ground and made some mud with the spittle. He rubbed the mud on the man's eyes and told him, go and wash your face in the pool at Siloam. Now, where's the psychology in this? If all Jesus had done was tell the man to go wash your face, the man would insist, oh, listen, man, I washed my face already since morning. I washed my face before I came to see you. I'm going to wash my face again. But think about it. Anyone who rubs spit in your face, you would be inclined to go wash it. So he really created a context to encourage the individual to do something. So we're seeing clues in terms of how things get changed. You start by making sure, not just by wishing and hoping, but you have to do something. The data tells us that after you make your habits, then your habits make you. You get to a point where your habits now allow your body to direct your mind. You are now operating on autopilot. Again, as we expressed in the previous section, about 95% of who we are by age 30 plus is a series of subconscious programs that have become automatic in almost all our actions. This program has a built-in downside, however, that is always has the potential for undermining your effectiveness unless you identify and transform them. This autopilot that your body mind start working on by the time you reach about age 35 could easily undermine anything you want to do. The work of Confucius tells us that the will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential, these are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Many clues have been laid before us as to how we get there to be the best version of yourself. Perspective, however, is everything. We live in two different worlds. One, the world of ultimate reality, and the other, the world of subjective reality. We occupy both those worlds at the same time. Now, ultimate reality represents the whole truth of the universe from a macro level, a micro level, and everything in between. The full scope of ultimate reality is greater than the human mind, and even at this stage, our best science is capable of perceiving. At any given time, we only perceive a small fraction of ultimate reality. This is defined by our perspective, which comes our interpretation of the world, our subjective reality. It is our subjective reality that guides us. Subjective reality, what is this? This is the world we perceive on a daily basis. It is selective interpretation of ultimate reality filtered through personal experience and our five sense perception. Think about it. If 100 people walk into the same room, there will be 100 different interpretations of the room. Each variation of the experience, which is our subjective reality, will tell part of the story, but none will tell the full story. The subjective reality, that's your perception. So what do we know by this? Reality is the product of subjective reality. That's all you have access to. And this comes through what we call the mind. Reality is created by focus. Wherever you focus your perception, a personal experience takes shape. When we shift our perception, we will inevitably experience a different world. What you focus on becomes real. Change your perception, and then things change. But there are ways to hack your perception. One, think of ultimate reality as the full spectrum of a radio frequency, the entire spectrum. Two, our focus is the dial that dictates which frequency we are accessing at any given time. Three, this is why it has been said that thoughts create our reality, because where we set the dial, that's what determines what we perceive. And four, thoughts are the mirror that determine which version of reality is reflected back to us. We control, we can hack our perceptions. So the process that I'll be describing in these series of lectures and ultimately in the book, it shows that connection between self as perceived first of all as your body, that physical essence you are, mind, that is the seat of consciousness, the world of the spirit, and ultimately the universe. So buckle your seatbelt. It's a serious cosmic journey we'll be on. This is the flight plan towards becoming your greatest self. In section 1, we're going to connect you with the universe. Section 2, we show you how to get to know your mind. Number 3, we raise the question, why are you here? Each one of us is here for a purpose. 4, we invite you to take a very bold vision of where you go next. 5, we will guide you on how do you set a 100-day goals. 6, how you make a 1-month plan. 1-month plan. It's no point planning for much longer than 1 month. 7, how you make the best decisions each day. 8, working with the principles. Most importantly, the law of attraction and all the other spiritual principles that will guide you. 9, help you to understand, know when to hold, when to fold. Huh? And to finish the phrase by Kenny Rogers, when to walk away and when to run. And 10, using your intuition. So you see, it's a total process that we're talking about in terms of how to get you to become your best self. The evidence is clear that it can be done. And each day will take you one step closer. So tomorrow, we connect with the universe. And then we continue to take you closer and closer to becoming your greatest self. Because as we say, personal transformation is the ultimate quest. And it is never too late to become your greatest self. And I felt driven to do this right at the beginning of a brand new year because, yes, we all set new goals and new missions and new agendas to get the year started. But work with me on this one, and we will get you there, becoming your greatest self. So until we meet again, get ready for this major transition. Have a great day.